presentation on mimicry by Eric Foley and Decrisanti. We're just going to take you through a few things and a couple fishes that follow this trend.
Alright, the definition of mimicry is a superficial resemblance of one organism to another or to natural objects among which it lives that secures it a selective advantage as protection from predation. Some ways it can be protected is through camouflage and mimicking a poisonous organism.
There are a couple different kinds of mimicry. There's aggressive mimicry, which takes a form of similarity in which a predator or parasite gains an advantage by its resemblance to a third party. Basically, it's mimicking a food source so it can get more food. There's also betazoan mimicry, which is a form of protective mimicry, which an unprotected species closely resembles an unpalatable or harmful species. Basically, something poisonous is mimicked.
Alright, some of the uses are for feeding, evasion, protection, and mating. An example for feeding is something like the anglerfish that lures its prey close enough for them to get them easier. Evasion and protection would be like something like camouflage, and then there's mating.
We're going to go over 5 different kinds of fish that take this on. There's the anglerfish, the butterfly fish in general, the harlequin snake eel, the false cleaner fish, and the black saddle filefish.
Alright, the first fish we're going to go over is the anglerfish. One interesting thing about them is only the females have the lures, and males are parasitic, smaller, and they latch onto the female and are absorbed into the body. And a female can hold up to 6 males on her body. We're going to take you into a short clip now.
These lights are created by animals. This is bioluminescence. A deep-sea anglerfish that flashes in the darkness. The light is generated by bacteria that live permanently inside the lure, which attracts prey to these murderous teeth. There are all sorts of lures out in the darkness. What is the purpose of this lure, suspended on a long rod way below its owner's terrifying set of teeth? It's difficult to be sure. But then this monster does have another giant flashing lure much closer to its mouth. These fish are called because they use their lures in much the same way as fly fishermen use their imitation flies. When hunting is huge eyes, this glimmer is intriguing. It might just be food. Satisfying me, a fish with a highly extendable stomach. Attracting a mate in this endless darkness can be even harder than finding food. Flashing lures may be helpful in doing this. Certainly only female anglers have them. The tiny males are just a tenth the size of the females. Their only purpose is somehow to find a mate in the darkness. She releases chemicals into the water, which the males scent with a special white organ in front of their eyes. Having found a partner, the male bites at her belly with specially designed teeth. He needs to get permanently attached. Within a matter of weeks, the male is completely fused to the female, and there he will stay for the rest of his life. Her blood circulating in his body provides him with all the sustenance he needs. In return, she gets a continuous, reliable supply of sperm, a brilliant solution to the problem of finding a mate in the vast emptiness of the sea.
Alright, some facts about the anglerfish. It's from the class Actinopterygii and the order Lophiformes. It gets up to about 3.3 feet and it can weigh up to 110 pounds. And the lure is actually made up of millions of bioluminescent bacteria that help it to glow. And the bacteria feed off of the prey of the anglerfish.
Next up is the butterfly fish. As you can see, it has a false eye spot. Basically, that all that's used for is it's something that predators will go for instead of their actual eyes. So if you decide to get eaten, it won't affect your vision. These are again from the class Actinopterygii and the order Perciformes. They can get up to 22 centimeters. And most butterfly fish have an uninterrupted dorsal fin with a tail fin that may be rounded or truncated, but they're never forked. So that's one way to tell most butterfly fish apart. The next thing up is the harlequin snake eel. It mimics a yellow-lipped sea crate, which is very poisonous. I'm pretty sure their venom can kill you within minutes. The eel itself, though, is harmless. Again, this is from the class Actinopterygii and the order Anguilliformes. The max length that these guys reach is 97 centimeters, and they're broadly banded with black and white and sometimes with blotches. However, they're basically meant just to mimic that sea crate almost perfectly so they don't get attacked.
Okay, the next fish up is the false cleaner fish. It does a dance just like the cleaner fish, and basically it just runs up to the fish it tricked, nips off a bite, and then runs back before it gets caught.
Basically what you're seeing here is this is a actual cleaner wrasse cleaning the inside of an eel's mouth and outside of it. What these fish do is they will sit outside of a coral station. A lot of them have little stations, and they'll sit outside these stations, do little dances to show that they are interested in cleaning the fish, and the fish will come in, stop, let the wrasse work them over. Normally, the wrasse will live in little groups of 6 or 7 fish. And an interesting fact about the wrasses is that when they're all born, they're females, and only one male will inherit the group. When the male dies, the strongest female will take over, turn into a male, and continue that group of cleaning wrasse, which I found to be very interesting. And what the fake cleaner wrasse will do is take advantage of this and nip scales and other parts from the fish.
Alright, the cleaner fish is also from the class Actinopterygii, and it's from the order Perciformes. They're fairly small. They only get up to about 11.5 centimeters. And like we've said, they mimic the cleaner fish and then just run up, take a bite, and they're gone before the other fish even knows that they got tricked, usually. So they swim very quickly, and they usually hide in the coral where they came from.
And the last fish that we have is the black saddle. The black saddle It's a black saddlefish. The way you can tell it apart from the saddled pufferfish, which it imitates, is a longer dorsal and anal fin. This again is from the class Actinopterygii in the order Tetradontiformes. The max length is relatively small, only about 10 centimeters, and it's a filefish, and it has a longer dorsal and anal fin bases, and the patterns behind the eyes are slightly different. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them.